My name is Leah Barren, and I'm one of the founding partners at Brown Barron. We are a law firm that specializes in nursing home neglect cases throughout the state of Maryland and in Washington, D.C.
And I'm Brian Brown, the other founding partner of Brown Barron. And today we're going to talk to you about something called pressure injuries, what you may know as bedsores. That's
right. Technically, we do refer to bedsores in this industry, in this field, as pressure injuries, because what bedsores are and what pressure injuries are wounds that developed because of unrelieved pressure. So in a nursing home, when a resident is left in one position for an extended period of time, they can get a wound because so much pressure is put on certain positions. These wounds often occur in areas of the body where the bone is close to the skin, so the heels, ankles, elbows, hips, and most commonly on the tailbone. You may have heard of a sacral ulcer, which is just another word for pressure injury on the tailbone. What happens when there's unrelieved pressure placed on the skin, then the blood vessels contract or constrict, and no longer can oxygen and nutrients be carried to the skin, and as a result the skin simply dies off. And as Brian's going to talk about, these wounds can start off relatively mild, but without proper attention can very quickly become quite severe.
And that's right. And the way pressure injuries are measured by medical professionals are what's called stages. They measure them in stages. And the first stage is mild. It's essentially a red spot on the surface of the skin. Now, while it is mild, it should set off warning bells, give the medical providers and the nursing home a heads up that something's going on here and we need to do something about it. Because if nothing is done about it, then it moves on to stage 2. Stage 2 is a deeper wound. It's below the surface of the skin. And then after that, we move to a stage 3 pressure injury. And a stage 3 pressure injury is past the skin, past the blood layer below the skin, and into the fat layer. And then finally, the most serious kind of pressure injury is stage 4. And that's otherwise known as what's called a full thickness injury. And a full thickness injury goes all the way through, past the fat layer, even to the muscle and the bone. And when that happens, it's a medical emergency that requires immediate attention, sometimes even hospitalization.
Unfortunately, we see and handle many of these pressure injury cases every year in our practice. And when we look at the cases, it's all about whether or not the pressure injury was clinically avoidable or not. So in most cases, we find that in fact the pressure injury was clinically avoidable. So there is something that the nursing home could have done to prevent the progression from either to prevent the resident from getting pressure injury or to prevent it having progressed from stage 1 all the way to stage 4. So nursing homes are required to do things such as routinely turn and reposition residents so they're not constantly putting so much pressure in certain areas of the body. They're required to monitor nutrition, especially their protein, to make sure that their skin and their body is getting the nutrients it needs in order to stay strong and healthy. And they can also do things such as change out mattresses and that can also relieve the amount of pressure that's placed on individuals' bodies. So there's a number of things that we look at when we're looking at these cases in order to determine whether or not the pressure injury was clinically avoidable or unavoidable.
So thank you very much for watching this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. And if you have questions about other similar kinds of topics, feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you very much.